I was raised in a staunch Catholic family. My father was never home. He worked 2 jobs. And my mother was very busy trying to raise 4 children who ruled her family with an iron fist. She believed that children should be seen and not heard. She had a very uncomfortable relationship with me. There was a lot of abuse, and so therefore I sued her in court and won emancipation when I was 15. I love school. School was a sanctuary for me. I love learning, always have loved learning, and I was a good student. I was very quiet, very shy, not able to make any decisions beforehand because I was the way I was raised. I was not having any restrictions on my activities at all, and I was able to make my own decisions, make friends. I sang in church, then professionally in a choir, and finally in coffee houses. And when you do that and you meet all these people, you're going to come out of your shell. You have to. I worked in an ICU unit with girls who were troubled. I found that a lot of them were just overly drugged. I decided that I wasn't going to do that, and I took all their drugs away and basically taught them some coping skills. They were doing remarkably well. This is working. Let's see what we can do with the other 3 ICU units. So I went and worked with them. The other girls had the same outcome. I went to work with American Indians because the Nestle Corporation dumped a bunch of bad formula on their reservation, and the babies were getting fat, but they were malnourished. The mothers needed to learn how to breastfeed and needed to learn about nutrition. 30 years later, I found a 19th century law that allowed them to buy over 20,000 acres for pennies on the dollar, getting some of their homeland back. I was formally made an Indian and was given the name Mother Who Cries with the Babies. I am married, been married for 38 years. My husband's name is Scott. I have 2 incredible children, my son Sean and my daughter Riley. I work for Laurel Jaguar Cars, and I was the first female service manager they ever had. I was able to bring up their service numbers by over 25%. I brought down their shop comebacks by over 60%. There was one account that never was reconciled. It always had a lot more money in it. I found out the service director, what he was doing was double dipping claims. And then he would get paid twice and then put the second charge onto this account. I decided to call Jaguar Cars and say, this is not right. And they lost their franchise. I worked on the Bernie campaign because he was the best candidate. I registered voters and I knocked on doors and made phone calls. After Bernie lost the nomination and Hillary was the nominee, I went and did speeches to try to convert Bernie's supporters. I did 7 speeches. It started around 20 people and the last one was over 300. Hopefully I converted some voters.